What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about who I think the Utah Jazz should be selecting with the 9th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. The team who had a really good season and was in legitimately playoff contention until the trade deadline, where they decided to move on from a bunch of players and really make some noise and actually, I think, not necessarily get better, but definitely a lot better for the future with all the endeavors that I think they are going to, of course, try and do. Again, there's a lot of really awesome things that this team still needs to do, but a lot of really cool and creative, I think, ideas that are already being brought up that I've just really kind of, I think, taken the best out of, and what I think is going to work for this team in the future. And I think that's kind of how I've been basing this pick off. But again, before I do get into that, I would just like to recommend you guys go and check out my official 2023 NBA mock draft, which will be getting linked in the description down below. I highly recommend you guys go and check it out. That way, if you're wondering why I didn't take a certain player with this pick and whatnot, it might have just been because I obviously took him with a higher pick to a different team. So definitely go and check out that video if you haven't already. It will, of course, be linked in the description down below. But I guess without further ado, let's get straight into it. Who I think the Utah Jazz should be selecting with the 9th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. Now, with the 9th overall pick, we have the Utah Jazz, another team who I believe needs a point guard. And again, it so happens that there is a point guard around this kind of mark who I actually like quite a bit. Some people have him as a shooting guard, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where his part of his career will be. I know he's definitely a guy who can just do a bit of both, and that's actually Nick Smith. He's being said that he's a combo guard mainly, and I kind of like him for this team because we know the Jazz desperately need to, I think, draft some guards in this draft. They've really got Colin Sexton there, and that's kind of about it. Colin Sexton's awesome, but I think we know with Sexton's future, he's probably going to be a three-point shooter, off the bench. His three-point shooting is low-key underrated, I think, but also just a really nice scorer off that bench. I wonder what they're going to do with Jordan Clarkson, because I think Sexton would be a lot better of a player if Clarkson wasn't on this team, and Clarkson has a lot of trade value, so I'm not sure what's going to be going on there. But at the end of the day, both those players are pretty much bench players. Clarkson started, but I think his best spot in the NBA is off the bench. And if you bring in a dude like Nick Smith, that kind of allows that to actually happen, as he is a 6'4", again, point guard / shooting guard who has a 6'9" wingspan. And that's just super scary. Like, imagine putting this dude at point guard and him having a 6'9" wingspan. Like, he's going to be a really good defender. I've even seen some people actually compare him to a bit of a Jaden Ivey, where Jaden Ivey is a dude who's like 6'4", can guard the point guard, can guard the shooting guard. Pretty decent playmaker, but can just really be a very awesome defender. Extremely good wingspan. And that's kind of just what Nick Smith has. It's being said that Nick Smith, being a really good defender, does also have a really nice three-point jump shot and has an exceptionally good, deep bag in that could compare to the NBA very well, which is a really awesome thing, I think, for this Jazz team. It's being said that he has springy legs and really good bounce and can definitely play above the rim. And he's got a 6'9" wingspan, which helps him play above his size, where he can actually go ahead and potentially guard the small forward as well. It's being said that he's a really good defender and can be a very nice big-time talent in the future. Again, his playmaking, it might be a little bit of an unknown. It's going to be really interesting to see if this will translate, I think, to the NBA. But honestly, I think it'd be a good experiment to give it a go, especially considering this dude's going to be a 6'4" guy with a 6'9" wingspan. He's going to be an exceptionally good defender, which I think the Jazz lost a lot of at the trade deadline. They definitely lost a lot of their defense, and especially losing Mike Conley. Conley is an extremely underrated, I think, defender at that point guard position. So bringing in a dude like Nick Smith will definitely help bring that defense, I think, and restore that quite well. I do think the potential will be there on the playmaking end, and I hope that he can convert to being a good playmaker. And look, if it doesn't work out, there's no reason why the Utah Jazz couldn't say, look, he might not be the future starting point guard, but he might be the future starting shooting guard. Like, the fact that he's such an elite defender with a 6'9" wingspan, who's extremely athletic, is really awesome, because if the point guard situation doesn't work, well, you just play him at shooting guard. The dude's a combo guard. He can do both. And that's what's really awesome about this selection that I think will have Utah Jazz fans excited, especially if they do decide to select him. And look, in the first season, if you don't find his starting shooting guard or whatever, I still think Jordan Clarkson could start, and they'd be a really awesome duo. And who knows, maybe if they might even see that or disagree with me that Colin Sexton is a future backup guard. Maybe they think Colin Sexton's a future starting guard, and this was just a year to get him back from injury. Maybe they have plans to rock him at the 1, and maybe have a dude like Nick Smith Jr. go to the 2. He would make up for a lot of what Colin Sexton doesn't do, which is defense. So, yeah, I think it'd be a really awesome duo, and why not? You could definitely see how that goes, and I think Nick Smith Jr. is a really solid player to have at this 9th overall pick, because his playmaking, we don't know yet if it will be what we think it could be and translate to the NBA. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a really good athletic defender who could quite potentially be a nice scorer as well in the NBA, who can guard 1 through 3. Like, this is a 6'4" dude with a 6'9" wingspan. Like, I've heard Jaden Ivey comparisons, but what about Bruce Brown? Bruce Brown's a dude who is also, I believe, 6'4" with like a 6'9" wingspan. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA, playing on a team who is in the finals now. Like, that's just crazy, and is going to be getting, I think, some pretty big offers in the free agency, especially from a team potentially like the Cleveland Cavaliers and the team he plays for now in the Denver Nuggets. So, a lot of really awesome things going on there, and I think Nick Smith Jr. could maybe be a similar type of guy. And look, Bruce Brown's even played backup point guard this year. So yeah, maybe that's the real comparison over Jaden Ivey. So again, I think this is a really good pick, and I think it makes a lot of sense that the Utah Jazz should, of course, be selecting Nick Smith Jr. with the 9th overall pick. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys agree with everything I've said with these picks 6 through 10? Of course, I would definitely like to know. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my IRL/vlog channel, my podcast. All of them will be linked in the description down below. My gaming channel as well. Go check them out. Most importantly, subscribe to this channel, leave a like, comment your thoughts and opinions. I'd very much like to hear them. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.